Good morning, everyone. Come on in. Let us know you're here. Tell us where you're from. Like it, share it out. Get your friends in because we have a special guest today. Teresa is smudging in the background. She's got unstable internet today, so she'll be in and out probably. And we just want to welcome back our Lucid Mystic, Haylee Lynn, one of our sisters, and just an all around such a knowledgeable young person in an old soul form. She's so into this lucid dreaming and how it can heal you. She's used it for herself. She's got a billion subscribers on YouTube, and she could use a billion more. So go and subscribe. All her information is in the information attached to this video or podcast. We are now on Apple Podcast and on Spotify, where we don't discriminate. And we're just happy that you're here. And thanks, and comment and show. And Haylee Lynn's going to teach us a little bit about lucid dreaming today, the difference between lucid dreaming and astral projection, and how to get into that lucid state. So we're just so happy to have you here today. And I'm going to put you on big as soon as I can figure out how to do that.
Thanks for having me, guys. Good to be back.
We love seeing you, and it's awesome to have you here. We're just waiting for everybody to show up. But Haylee Lynn, just give us a little background of how you actually got into this. Like, some people have heard it before, but some people are absolutely new to this also.
Yeah, so basically what I do in my business first is I'm an altered states of consciousness coach. So I help people access altered states of consciousness like lucid dreaming and out-of-body experiences for life transformation and healing. I got into this kind of randomly because, I've always been a huge dreamer, but growing up with a lot of anxiety and depression, I started to develop digestive issues because we hold our worry in our stomach and our digestive tract. And so I started having issues with like gastritis, ulcers, esophagitis, basically just a ton of inflammation in my stomach. And it was such a hassle trying to go to doctor after doctor after doctor, getting referred to place to place to place, no one really knowing what was wrong at all, being on like 8 medications at once. I got to a point where I was so done with putting my healing outside of me. And I said, you know what? I don't know how I'm going to heal myself, but I'm going to figure out a way. I couldn't hold any jobs. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. It was like the worst pain that I could ever imagine. And I remember just calling out to like the universe, like, please show me a way. Please show me a way to take my life back. And I started having these random lucid dreams, these random bits of like sleep paralysis when I was awake. So my entire body would vibrate, and while my eyes were closed, I would go into a dream fully conscious, and they were just really, really short at first. And I started to realize after about a week or so of that happening, maybe there's something to this, and I did hear about lucid dreaming healing from Charlie Morley, who is an awesome lucid dreaming author, and he kind of opened my mind up to the possibility of healing back when I was about like 15 or so. And I just decided to go for it. I remember getting lucid spontaneously in a dream, realizing I'm dreaming in a full 3D hyper realistic environment. And I just remember calling out to the sky, which is like kind of the overall awareness in the dream, I want to heal my stomach. And I remember a truck pulling up across the street. I was on some sort of suburban street, and this man getting out, coming up to me and saying, hey, I want to help you heal your stomach like you asked for. Come with me and I'll take you to a healing pool of water. And of course, what our brain doesn't know that we are dreaming. So anything that happens in the dream is real to the brain, which means we can activate the placebo effect when we're lucid dreaming. So he took me to this random house. We walked right through it. The family was in the back barbecuing on the barbecuer. I remember they offered me an otter pop, and of course I took it, and it was the most like delicious thing I've ever had, because when we're dreaming, we're experiencing things with our mind. We're not limited to our human physical senses. So all of our senses are amplified, and that's how I knew that maybe this healing would actually work. So after I enjoyed my otter pop, I remember that the guy, Yeah, it's like a little popsicle type thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll take it. And I remember getting in the swimming pool and the guy said, "This is your healing pool of water. And if I stay in this and affirm that I'm healed, then I will be healed." And of course, that's a little far out, but I decided, hey, what do I got to lose at this point? And I remember getting in the water, it felt more vivid than anything before. And people call out affirmations in the lucid dream, which go directly to the subconscious mind. The lucid dream state is like the deepest state of hypnosis that you can get, because we don't have to bypass the conscious mind. We don't have to, try to implement suggestions and believe that they're true. The brain believes it's a real experience, and these affirmations go directly to the subconscious mind. So I just remember being in the water, affirming that I'm healed, and visualization is extremely powerful in the lucid dream. So I remember rubbing my hands together, putting it on my stomach, and imagining a beam of light. And of course, whatever we imagine or believe to happen in the lucid dream happens. So there was an actual beam of light coming down to my stomach, and I just remember affirming, "Thank you for my healing, thank you for my healing," until I woke up. That was the first day in 8 years that I wasn't in complete agonizing pain, and I was like, this is the best like I've felt for years and years and years. So let me just see how long I can go without taking these medications, because I was on 8 different medications that completely made me feel like a zombie, and I haven't taken them since. So that's kind of how I realized the true power of lucid dreaming. And since then, I've been able to help people with PTSD, skin conditions, sleep issues, other physical ailments that they'd like to heal. And now I'm just dedicated to exploring what consciousness can do for us in this waking life. So that's kind of how I got into it.
That is so cool. So you teach people how to lucid dream. So people sometimes get lucid dreaming and astral projection confused because they're kind of similar, but they're different, right? Can you tell us first the difference between the two?
Yeah, so lucid dreams happen in REM sleep, which is REM sleep. That happens every 90 minutes of our sleeping cycle. So we have about 5 dream periods every single night. And that's where our lucid dreams happen. But out-of-body experiences, they can happen in any state of consciousness, and we can also have them when we are awake. And the main difference between those two, besides that, is in a lucid dream, you are in a dream and you are completely aware of the fact that you're dreaming, and you can kind of influence the dream and change it at will and explore the inner depths of your own mind. And with lucid dreaming, it's like you're going inside your consciousness. With astral projection, your consciousness is going outside of your physical body. And even though the lucid dream state feels extremely real, it can tend to change and have a lot of dreamy aspects. Like if you look at something and look away and look back, it will change or shift in some way. Like if you try to read, for example, in the lucid dream. But in an out-of-body experience, you'll most likely leave your body right where you were laying down in your physical environment, be able to read everything really, really clearly in your environment. And that's because your awareness is projecting out into your physical, real environment. And in the dream, you're kind of traveling inside of your own psyche. So those are the main differences between the two.
So in astral projection, you can go like to the moon or go to next door or go maybe across the world and go see things that you wanted to see. And you're like with your conscious state, sort of just.
Yeah. And you can do that in a lucid dream as well. But again, that's like kind of in your own dream world. But in an out-of-body experience, I remember trying to fly to the moon, and the flight was really long. It was really, really cold, really dark. I couldn't see. So as you can see, it's a lot more real. And it's more realistic in the astral projection state, because your awareness is kind of outside of your body. And if you're ever laying down meditating and you start to see through your closed eyes, you're seeing through your astral body, and you can kind of project your awareness outside and travel. It looks like just a little camera lens. You're just moving around with just awareness. So yeah, that's a big difference between the two.
Cool. So everyone can lucid dreams, but you have a specific. Sometimes most of us have been getting into that state accidentally, more or less. Like we just find ourselves like there. Oh, I didn't like that, so I've changed whatever the ending is. Or let's change it. I don't want it that, or if you're having a nightmare, you end up chasing whatever's chasing you, or that sort of, you physically figure that out. How can you go about actually going into lucid dreaming and doing that exercise at night? And how's the best way to do that, do you find?
So the biggest things is you want to start a dream journal. You want to start writing your dreams down, because if you're not practicing recalling your dreams, it's going to be hard to get lucid in your dreams. So writing your dreams down will allow your brain to let you know, oh, you actually care about this dream content. I'm going to start saving this information, because one of the brain's jobs is to be efficient. So if we're not using our dream content and we just wake up and get out of bed, then our brain's not going to recall, save all that information, because it's trying to be efficient. So if you really want to show your brain it is a priority to remember your dreams, I would definitely start writing your dreams down every single morning, just writing the date and the time and writing down anything that happened. And if you didn't remember anything, you can just write down, I didn't remember any dreams tonight. That shows your brain, oh, it's a priority to remember these dreams. So I'll start recalling more and more. So you're gonna increase your dream recall daily by using your dream journal. Another thing is we dream how we live. So if we live unconscious, we're going to dream unconscious. If you are on autopilot throughout the day and you kind of just go about your day, you drive to work, but you don't even remember how you got there, you just remember getting to work, then you're going to dream in the same way. But if you can take some time to be a little more critical of your environment, really pay attention to when things seem weird or odd, be like, that doesn't seem right. Could this be a dream? How do I know I'm awake right now? And if you can create a habit of doing that, that's activating your prefrontal cortex in the brain, which is associated with your sense of self and your critical thinking. And the more critical and aware we can become of our environment in waking life, the more critical and aware we'll be in our dreams. So next time something happens, you see a talking animal or a flying car, you're more likely to say, oh, that doesn't seem right. Could this be a dream? And once you ask yourself that in the dream state, you kind of zoom into first person and you have full influence over the dream and can kind of go about your own psyche and explore that way. So dream journaling is extremely important, and becoming more aware and asking yourself some critical questions throughout the day. You can start to set your alarm every hour or so. You really want this to become a habit, to be more critically aware of your environment. For example, if I'm outside and I see a weird billboard or some human doing something odd, I have to stop and ask myself, what is weird about this experience? How do I know that I'm awake right now? And the next time that something odd happens in your dreams, you're more likely to question that and get lucid that way. So it's really down to dream recall and awareness of your environment, and that will carry over into the dream state.
So it's like being mindful during the day, like taking mindfulness breaks during the day, like you said.
Absolutely.
Like what do you do, Bex?
I love that. That's what she taught us. And like the first time she was with us is that you try to put your finger through your hand, and in your dream, your finger will go through. But obviously in this world, it won't. So if you keep practicing doing this, like, what do you say, like every hour or something at first, then when you start doing it in your dream, you'll see that your finger goes through and you know you're dreaming. It's a trigger.
Yeah. So these are called reality checks, and that's kind of what these questions are too. You want to do like a mental reality check, like questioning, how do I know that I'm awake right now? Where was I 10 minutes ago? Is anything odd about what I'm experiencing? And then you want to do physical reality checks. And the reason why we want to get in the habit of counting our fingers in waking life or checking the time is because those things will shift and they won't be the same in the dreams as in waking life. So if you can practice becoming aware of your hands, for example, and looking at your hands throughout the day, we dream about what we are experiencing most in waking life. So if throughout the day you're looking at your hands, you're going to start dreaming of looking at your hands, and you're obviously going to see that something is different or off, or you have more fingers than usual, or the lines on your hands look different, and that can trigger lucidity. So it's pretty much just using anything in your environment to kind of test this reality. You can even pick up a pen, drop it. Oh, that seemed normal. Look at the time. Oh, it's 10:14 a.m. where I am. Let me look away. Oh, still 10:14. That wouldn't be this. It wouldn't be like that for a dream. Things would shift. Laws of physics wouldn't be the same. So the pen might just float up in the air. So you kind of want to just get in the habit of getting curious with your environment, testing things in your environment, and really assuming that you could be dreaming anytime. And the more you assume you could be dreaming anytime, you'll start dreaming of assuming you could be dreaming, which could trigger lucidity that way.
Is that what, like Lisa's saying? I've been dreaming lucid for decades, and even tell the people in my dream that, this is a dream, don't you? The dreams are very real.
Yep, that's definitely a lucid dream. I remember my first lucid dreams, I was trying to tell these different dream characters in my dream, this is a dream, this is a dream. And they would look at you really weird and be like, whoa, I'm dreaming too. Like anything could happen with dream characters.
Funny.
So yeah, you can definitely interact with different dream characters and the environment in pretty much any way that you would like to once you're consciously aware. So I love that.
This is totally making me think of Inception. I'm just saying, like,
it is exactly like Inception.
I love Inception, like the whole idea of going into the dream world and being able to totally like manipulate the whole world. And like, what did he have? He had like a thimble or something.
Top.
A spinning top, that's what it was, that he would spin and he would know if he was dreaming or not. So my question is, you've talked about in the past that you can bring, like you would bring like real objects into your dreams kind of thing, like so you have them there like to notice them or whatever. Have you ever had dream objects show up in your reality?
That's interesting. So it's funny that you say that because it wouldn't be like a physical object just like appear in my house, for example, right? But if I dream about something, a lot of those times you can have prophetic dreams, which is like dreams of something in the future. So I have dreamed of like situations, for example, or seeing something on a billboard and actually have seen it in waking life. So I think there's a really powerful intelligence within the dream state that helps us maneuver through waking life. And I think that the two dream states are married together. Like if you look at your hands a lot in waking life, that will start to show up in your dreams, and the things you dream about can show up in your waking reality. So I think all states are really a dream if we think about it. So yeah, I think they go together really, really well.
That's very true. Yeah, I had a post recently and I shared that said something like, how do you know that your dream state isn't your actual like awake state? You know, and then your awake state is actually your
territory there.
But seriously, like what if this is actually us being asleep, and you know, in our dream state is where we're actually awake and more aware, and you know.
Now you're asking those questions that used to freak me out as a kid. Yeah,
I love these
that's true though.
These are the good questions.
We are definitely more asleep in this reality because in the dream we're aware of our infinite potential. We can see all archetypes within ourselves, and we are just pure conscious awareness. So I do think we're more awake in those other realities than this one for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
absolutely.
Awesome. That's awesome.
And those dreams that come true are so much fun. I had that happen when I was like 14. I had a dream about this guy that I had a crush on, and the dream came true, and I like exactly how it played out in the dream, and I was like, oh, I could have fun with this. Hasn't really happened much since, but that was fun.
See, write your dreams down, guys.
Write your dreams down. Yeah, I mean, I call those green dreams when I dream something and it comes true. And they're usually the weirdest, stupid, most mundane little things. They're not like the lottery numbers or something like that. But so give us the mechanics of how we do this in bed. Like, so we go to bed. Is that the best time when we're just going to sleep to jump into lucidity, or is there a better time?
So you can actually practice this throughout the day. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of liminal dreaming, but we basically enter the hypnagogic state every time before you fall asleep. You might see these swirling colors and flashes of light and dream images, and you might start to think of random things that don't make sense when you're falling asleep. That's the liminal state. And if we can actually anchor our awareness within that state, all of those colors and flashes of light, that's potential dream content. So that can actually turn into a fully lucid dream. So you can practice this throughout the day. You can just lay down really anytime. And as long as you can get really relaxed, you can start to feel your body fall asleep. It will start to get heavy. You'll start to see all those flashes of colors. And I definitely recommend practicing this with a sleeping mask on, but just see how long you can stay awake as these colors form. And I'm sure maybe some of you have heard of mind awake, body asleep. And that is the perfect state we want to be in. We want to keep our mind awake as our body falls asleep, and then we can enter dreams consciously. So you can practice this at any time, even once you get in bed for the night. You can even just meditate for a couple minutes and then allow those colors and imagery to form, and just see how long you can stay awake before you fall asleep. And sometimes you'll stay awake just long enough where those colors will actually start to form dream scenes that you can actually just kind of appear in when the dream has formed. So you can practice this at any time. We can enter liminal dreaming at any time, which is just that kind of kaleidoscopic state of consciousness with all the imagery. We also access the state when we wake up. So it's on the brackets of sleep before we fall asleep and as we wake up. So if you can turn off your alarm in the morning and have a few extra minutes in bed, you'll see these colors and swirling images start to form. And as long as you can practice staying as conscious as possible for as long as possible, that's a great practice to do for lucid dreaming. So I would definitely
hit the snooze alarm and go back to sleep is what you're
Yep. And if you get 2 hours extra of sleep, you actually double your chances of lucid dreaming. So the more sleep, the better, which is what
I love
everyone wants to
sleep.
hear, I think.
Sleep is good.
And
So
going to
I
bed-
remember
going
that
to-
you.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So
I was just
I remember
going
that you taught us that whatever position you wake up in, the longer you stay in that position, the better dream recall you'll have. That as soon as you move, the dream tends to slip out of your mind or whatever. So I found myself, or if you go back in that position, sometimes you'll get the dream recall back if you forgot or whatever. So I've actually used that quite a bit. Like I'll be like, oh, what was that dream? And I'll flop over on my side like, okay, there it is. Like it's funny how that just clicks right into place. It's like being in that position. How does that work?
So our dreaming memory is actually stored in our like muscles. So if we wake up, for example, from a dream and we turn over, you might not go back into the same dream. You might not even dream at all. But if you just turn over into the position you were sleeping in, you kind of continue that dream. Now we don't know exactly why this happens, but we do know a lot of the dream memory is stored in our position, in the position that we were dreaming in. So if you remember having a dream, but you wake up or you turn over or something, just try to lay back in the same position that you were in, and you'll either recall your dreams or you'll actually go back into the dream that you were in. So it's kind of a little nice hack.
It's also a good way to avoid nightmares. When you wake up and you're like, I don't want to go back into it. Pick a different position. I find like that doesn't happen very often, but yeah, I've had that like a couple weeks ago. I was like had this crazy nightmare, and I wasn't really scared in it, but I did not want to go through it again. So I was just like, I got up, like walked around, and then I went back to bed, and it was trying to come back, and I was like, nope, and I moved my position, and then I was fine. So with this, you're saying to keep your consciousness awake. Do you still get the deep rest that you need? Because that's my biggest worry is like, am I going to get the rest? Because my brain's always going, and if I keep it always going, it makes me tired. I know, like.
So within the lucid dream, your conscious mind is turned off. So your conscious mind is getting rest. You're experiencing it through your subconscious mind. And actually in REM, when we're lucid dreaming, in rapid eye movement, our brain waves are more awake than they are when we're fully conscious and up right now. So you're actually getting all the rest that you need. It's like a really deep meditation. So it will actually help you get better rest and restore your sleeping cycle if you practice.
That's so good to know.
Yeah.
That's such a relief.
One of the hacks I think I remember is when you're going to sleep and you're in that hypnagogic state, don't move even though your body wants you to turn over. Because if you turn over, you'll go to sleep. Is that kind of what it does? It kind of,
Yeah. So this is called the rollover signal. Pretty much when you start to fall asleep, your body's going to send you signals to check if you're awake or not, because it doesn't want to put the body asleep if you're still awake. So if you are meditating for a long time or you're just holding still for a long period of time, you'll start to get these urges to move and these itches, and you just kind of feel uncomfortable. And that's just your body sending you a signal to check if you're awake. Now, if you respond to those signals and you move or you roll over or you itch, then you're telling the brain, oh, hey, yeah, I'm still awake. Don't put me to sleep. Don't start my dreams. I am awake. But if you ignore those signals, which it can be a little hard at first because the itches and the urges are pretty intense, if you can ignore that for about like 5-ish minutes or so, those urges will actually go away. They were basically fake. The brain was trying to fake you out to see if you would move. And if you can kind of just remain still, the brain will assume that you're asleep, and you will feel your body start to fall asleep. It'll start to get heavy. You'll start to feel tingling. And then that would be a great time to practice a lucid dream technique or an out-of-body technique. But you want to keep your mind awake as your body falls asleep. That's a great thing to remember for your practices.
Cool. Have you got a little meditation or something that you do, or any music? My first question is there any kind of solfeggio tones that you like to use to get into a lucid state, like playing in the background, or do you like it just quiet and black and dark?
So I do like some meditation music or sleep music. When we're lucid dreaming, the brain is in theta and gamma. So if you have like theta tones or gamma tones, those would work really great for lucid dreaming. And as far as like a technique that I would do, one that's really, really easy is anytime you wake up, even if you wake up in the middle of the night and you have a dream to write it down in your dream journal. And write it with as much detail as possible, and read through it a few times until you've kind of memorized the basics of that dream. Then you want to go to lay down, and you want to visualize that dream playing out in your mind with as much detail as possible. But at some point in the visualization, you're also going to add that you became lucid. So say that I dreamt of like driving in a car with somebody, right? And I woke up and I wrote down this dream with as much detail. I'll reenact this dream in my visualization as I'm falling asleep. But at some point in the dream, I'm going to add, oh, and I looked at my hand and I realized I'm dreaming, or you realize you're dreaming in some way. And you want to feel the emotions and excitement of getting lucid. And it's real to your brain. Your brain doesn't know the difference between waking reality, dreams, or something you're imagining. So when you imagine getting lucid in this dream that you just had with emotion and visualization and as much, sensation as possible, that's real to the brain. So that can actually influence the next dream you have, and you're more likely to get lucid if you imagine that you got lucid before bed. So
it's cool.
I love that you mentioned the gamma, because a couple of years ago I had a dream that people just kept coming up to me and saying, stay in the gamma range. And I'm like, what? Stay in the gamma range. And I'm like, what does that mean? And I never figured it out. And now you're mentioning that that's part of your sleep state. So they were telling me to stay in sleep, stay in it.
Interesting. Well,
yeah, it was very weird.
Do you have any of those videos or that music on your YouTube station?
Yes, so I have lots of different playlists on my YouTube channel. I have a Lucid Dreaming and Out of Body Experience playlist. I have a beginner's playlist if you're just getting into this practice. And then I have sleep music. And I think there's like 180 tracks or something on there. They're 12-hour tracks with different binaural beats designed to help you get lucid and help you have a really relaxing night's sleep. And I have those playing even when I'm sleeping, and it helps you.
You don't need earbuds in at that point in time. You can just listen to them beside your bed, can you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they also have isochronic tones in them, which are basically binaural beats, but you don't need your headphones in, so you can just have it playing on the TV, and it kind of helps keep a slight part of your consciousness awake, which is exactly what we need for lucid dreaming. We want to wake up in our dreams, so having something kind of playing in the background like a white noise can help you anchor a little bit of awareness that will help wake you up when you're dreaming.
Yeah, right. And like I was telling Haylee before we got on last night, like lately I've been listening to different binaural beats and things like that, or like relaxation videos for sleep and things like that. And I have specific ones I listen to, but then I was like, I'm so tired of the ones with the bright lights because it lights up my whole room and I don't want to have all that light when I'm trying to sleep. So I'm scrolling through my YouTube and all of a sudden I see this video. It says, black screen and for deep sleep and lucid dreaming, and I'm like, and then I looked and it was the Lucid Mystic, of course, which I haven't really seen any of her videos pop up in my news feed or my my YouTube or anything like that. I follow her, but they haven't been showing up. And then this one was exactly what I needed at that moment. So I listened to it last night and I slept so well. It was great. So I'm gonna listen to it every night and see what I can activate.
See, guys, it's also black screen, which how annoying is it when you're trying to go to sleep and you want to listen to some music to help you get to sleep, but the bright glaring lights from the video. So I've made sure it has a little spacey nebula kind of moving video the first minute of the track.
The countdown. I love the countdown.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, here we go.
Yep, here we go.
Get ready for an adventure.
Exactly. So it's
so
black
much fun
for 12 hours, so it's great to use for sleep. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to try that tonight because my husband doesn't like some of the voices of some of the other people that I use. So that'll be good. That'll be good. Maybe my dog will stay asleep too.
Yeah. Well, and these don't have the voices. It's just the tones. So it's very soothing. There's no voices, there's no light, it's just toning. And so you can just lay down and kind of lose yourself in it, where if you have somebody's voice, sometimes you can get lost in different details and stuff. And with the images, sometimes it's too much, but this is perfect for sleep.
And I don't like a lot of the piano music or any instrumentals like that. It's extremely ambient. I designed them to feel like you're kind of floating through space. So it's very ambient.
That's a perfect way to describe it. Yes.
Yeah, so.
Teresa says she actually plays them. Teresa's here and she's listening intently. I actually use them to play to her cat, Chidi. Yeah.
And while she's channeling, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super.
Very cool. All right, so can you give us a little demo, a little introduction to how we can, I guess move into a lucid state, to help us to understand how that would feel and what we can do?
Yeah. So let's say that you want to practice doing a technique like wild. A wild technique is a little more advanced, but it's called wake-induce lucid dream. So it's going from a lucid dream from a waking state. So basically you would get really comfortable in meditation. You would lay down flat on your back and make sure you're really, really comfortable, because you'll be laying there for a little bit. I always take a few deep breaths to relax the body. Before I do that, I stretch out your body so you feel as comfortable as possible. Do some yoga, do some sort of movement practice so you'll feel really comfortable, and you'll just kind of sink into your bed. You want to be as comfortable as possible. I'll lay on my back, do a few deep breaths, have my arms kind of spread out and my legs spread out, because eventually you're not going to really feel your body. You're going to start to disassociate with your physical body. So you don't want to be crossing your arms or like turning in weird ways. You just want to be flat on your back with your arms out, as comfortable as possible. And then you just want to allow, first, before the colors start to show up, I recommend kind of tuning into your senses. So what can I see under my closed eyes? Do that for 30 seconds. What can I hear in my physical environment? What can I feel as far as my physical body goes? The temperature, what can I feel as far as the surface I'm laying on? And you want to cycle through these senses a couple times. So what can I see under my closed eyes? What can I hear in my environment? And what can I feel on my physical body? And after a few times of doing that, you're going to start to see little tiny, swirling colors or little flashes of light and dream images. And this shows that your body is falling asleep. You're getting more and more relaxed. So now your job is just to not focus on the colors, but just allow them to form. And when we have our eyes closed, I always say to not stare like you're staring at a black wall, but like you're seeing through a forest. See depth behind your closed eyes, like you're seeing, through a forest or into the stars. And the more you can try to see depth, like through your closed eyes, the more images that will form. And you just want to allow that to carry you into deep sleep. Just a little bit of conscious awareness. And if you have a hard time staying awake, I'd recommend maybe going through those senses again as those colors are forming. And eventually you're going to start to feel tingling on your hands and your feet. You're going to start to feel your body get a lot more heavy. And you may start to feel like you're floating, or I'm sure you guys have experienced the sensation of falling when you are laying in bed. And that is a sign that you are starting to disassociate from your body. Your brain can't feel your physical body, and so it's just almost making up its own movements within your mind. So once you start to not feel your physical body as much, you're going to notice some other sensations form, like the tingling or the feeling of weightlessness. Now you can either do two things at this point. The longer you can hold your awareness, the tingling is going to get a little bit more intense. You can either focus on the colors and create dream scenes out of them, or interact with them using your other senses. So for example, if I see the color blue, what would that taste like? What taste can I give this color? What sound can I give this color? And you almost start to actually experience it. So you're really engaging with the imagery you're seeing in some way, right? So if you want to induce a lucid dream, you start to create, you want to make those visualizations more real. So what would blue taste like? What would it sound like? Just start to create these fun associations. If you want to have an out-of-body experience, instead of focusing on the imagery you're seeing and creating visualizations out of that, you want to focus on the sensation of moving. So you can focus on swinging in a hammock. You can focus on slipping out of your bed. What would that feel like? And you will start to feel it. You will think that you are falling off your bed, and I assure you, you are not. So do not move, because there are so many times where I literally felt like I was slipping off my bed and had to open my eyes, and I'm just right in the middle of my bed. So it starts to feel extremely real. So once you kind of guide yourself down by cycling through your senses to lucid dream, you can either focus on the visualization and make that more real to you using your other senses like we just talked about. Or if you want to induce an out-of-body experience, focus on the sensation of movement, where your physical body is now. What would it feel like to rock back and forth? Or can I imagine that my head is actually where my feet are? And you'll actually start to kind of freak yourself out a little bit, because it will feel like you are in that different position, or you will start to feel that movement. Sometimes for an out-of-body experience, I'll imagine standing in the corner of my room. What would it look like from that perspective? how vivid can I make that? And for a split second, you might feel like you're there. And that is you shifting your awareness out of your body. So those are two different ways that you can, have a lucid dream or an out-of-body experience from the same state as you kind of lead yourself into sleep.
Thank you. That's so cool. So, Haylee, tell us what's coming up for you. And we can all find you on your wonderful YouTube channel. So we want people to subscribe there. You have courses, you have music, and you also have a group where you can mentor people as well, right?
Yeah, so there's a few different things we got going on. So I do have like a Patreon if you want exclusive content on there. I do have of course, my YouTube channel, which also has a members option if you want weekly videos that aren't available to the public. If you're looking to connect with the community, I do have a Facebook group, Haylee Lynn's Lucid Dream Team, or we have a Telegram chat, which there's a lot of people in there. They're constantly talking to each other, asking questions, sharing dream experiences. I'm very present in there as well. So there's a couple ways to connect to the community. As far as what I have coming up, of course, I offer one-on-one mentorships and have online courses, but I am running an 11-part dream series where we do one masterclass every single month for 11 months. And it's basically designed to take you from just beginning your dreaming journey to being able to reprogram your brain, to be able to heal, to be able to connect with past loved ones, to be able to do energy work, like really advanced things within the lucid dream. So that's going to be over 11 months on, and it's the 5th of every single month is when the master classes are. You can either join in on the whole series to get all 11 classes, or you can just choose which ones you would like to join in on. The next one is March 5th, and this is all about the shadow. So how to actually do shadow work within the lucid dream, how to meet your shadow, and how to transform and heal those aspects of yourself to live a life of confidence and healing. So that's my next class, and I'm very excited for that. And of course, if you have questions about that, you can just shoot me a message. But I think the one link that I sent you was my Linktree. So if any of you want to connect, you can just click on that Linktree, and it will have
a great Linktree. Yeah, you just go and look at her Linktree, or go into her Instagram and connect to her Linktree through that. Works well too. And Bex, you had some questions for Haylee.
I did, but I was going to see if Teresa's doing better with her Wi-Fi, because she can ask the questions today.
My Wi-Fi, it still keeps going in and out. I'm trying hard to listen and follow along. But I will do the first question, and maybe you can get the rest.
Sure.
First question is, Haylee, you're walking across that stage, and they're playing your song as you're getting ready to speak and share with the international group. What song are they playing for you?
What song are they playing for me? There's
it's
this,
like a theme song,
So this is my theme song currently because I did host hospice for my grandmother, and I've been having really amazing experiences with her. And our song is Magic from Xanadu, if you guys have seen that movie.
Yes.
So that is kind of the theme song of my life right now. I play it anytime to connect with her. So yeah, Magic from Xanadu is probably the go-to right now.
That's awesome.
Cool.
I love that.
Right on.
All right. Second question is, what is your favorite crystal that you're working with right now?
So my favorite crystal is probably labradorite or spirit quartz. I find that they're really, really powerful for expanding your consciousness, for helping you tap into deeper states. And they really bring a lot of beautiful information up within dreams and meditation. And so those are probably my two favorite right now. But of course, I don't discriminate. I have so many stones. I don't know where to put them. I'm like putting them in windowsills and like big bowls, like all around. But those are my two favorites right now. Yeah.
I love that. All right. And the third question is, have you ever experienced extra dimensional intelligence, meaning had, visitations or seen UFOs, things like that?
Or in your dreams, meet them?
Yes, actually, just a couple days ago, I had an out-of-body experience where I connected to all these different beings. I was laying in my bed doing the technique that I told you guys, going through my senses, allowing my body to fall asleep, imagining movement. And I remember going into this vortex of stars. Like, this is when the imagery started to get really, really powerful. And I went into this vortex of stars, and I saw tons of people standing over me, almost like you're from the position of like in a hospital or something, in terms of like heads over you, I just saw tons of beings over me, probably like 8 to 9 beings standing over me. And I remember one of them reached out their hand, and I don't know what to call her besides the blue lady. She was literally a lady, all like completely blue, and she grabbed my hand and pulled me through this vortex of stars. And it was the start to a crazy out-of-body experience where I actually connected to my grandmother, and I was able to just think of questions during this experience, and I would hear them out loud, like people were actually in my apartment. So that was kind of a cool experience. But my way with beings is mostly through those states, because it's like me going to their house, me going to their frequency, so it's easier to connect with them that way. But yeah,
so cool. So
that is amazing.
It's awesome.
So much fun. You definitely inspire me to want to go play with dreams more. Like I love dreams. Like I love sleep, I love dreams, and I try to get as much as I can. But I'm telling you, like just being able to see that as a whole other playground, to be able to expand and evolve and just have fun with,
we sleep for a third of our lives, which is roughly 33 years spent to sleep. How are we going to spend that time? So I'd say go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it next.
Do you think
I like to sleep more?
Do you think it's better to go to bed early or sleep late?
So definitely go to bed early, because you're either one is fine, but going to bed early will help you have more awareness in your dreams. If you go to bed super late, you're most likely going to like zonk out or not be as aware, right? Because you're so tired. But if you go to bed more aware, you're going to be a little more conscious than usual, and that could be a great time to have wake induce lucid dream, and just have
that's what
more
naps are
awareness
for
in your
too.
dreams. Yeah, that's why naps are super powerful, because you're going to sleep with a more aware mind, so you have more aware dreams.
Okay.
Yeah, but sleep is sleep as long as you can
Pro naps.
get as much sleep as possible. Yeah, but naps are a little hack for these states. That's where a lot of my experiences happen, actually.
Yeah, that's when I have my most vivid dreams too, usually is naps.
Well, thank you so much for coming and visiting with us again. And we'll have to ask you more. And I'm going to tune into your channel tonight and go to bed early.
Thank you.
Yes.
Personally.
It's so much fun. I just have to announce our winner real quick.
Oh, yes.
Our winner of last week's Share It Out, which I'm pretty sure she already knew because she was a champion with that sharing, is Patty Husa. And you won with me, so I will contact you to get that set up. And you guys share this out, invite your friends. Who doesn't want to have amazing dream experiences, right? So, and healing in your dreams, like what an awesome experience that must be. And I definitely intend to work with that more. And if you guys want to be able to have a master help you, Haylee is awesome. We highly recommend her. So check her out and follow her and listen to her YouTube videos and subscribe.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Haylee. Thanks for being with us. And we'll see you next time, because we'll ask you again.
Of course.
Sounds great. Love you guys.
Love you.
Take care.